Have you ever wanted to live somewhere where you can stretch out on a little land, enjoy country roads, but still be close to the city? Then Fortson, Georgia may be just what you're after. Now, while this may beg you to want to call it home, there are some things you'd want to consider first. So stick with me today as we go through the pros and cons of living in Fortson, Georgia. And stick around until the end because I'll be sharing my favorite hidden gem, which, spoiler alert, does involve food. Let's get going. Hey y'all, and if it's your first time here, welcome to Cooking Up Real Estate. My name is Stacy Roberts, aka This Realtor Cooks, and I'm here to help you discover all things Harris County, Georgia. My son and I moved to this area just last year, so I'm going to be sharing with you firsthand what it's really like to move to the central western part of Georgia. And whether you're moving your family or your business, I'd love to help. You'll find all my contact information in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you'll always be in the loop of all things Harris County, Georgia. All right, today we're talking about Fortson, Georgia, and we are going to figure out whether or not it is the right place for you and your family or your business to move. We're going to first talk about where and what is Fortson, Georgia. So before we go any further, I would like to say that Fortson and the town of Cataula, these are both areas, cities in Harris County, Georgia. They are so close together where their borders are, and sometimes it can just be like one in the same area. Though some may argue that point. I just want to mention that because I may kind of interchange Fortson and Cataula throughout this video, and I don't want to confuse. So we're talking about the same general vicinity in Harris County, Georgia. So where is Harris County, Georgia? Where's Fortson, Georgia? I'm going to pop up the map here so we can talk about the region we're in and then look a little bit closer in Harris County where we're at. So here's the map, and you can see that we are right here in central western Georgia, and we are very close to the Alabama line. And here, where we're talking about, Fortson, Georgia, is right here. It's in the sweet spot of Harris County, Georgia. You are inside the county lines, but you are also pretty close to Columbus, Midland, and other convenient areas for shopping and eating out and all of the good things, but you still have a lot of land, rural, quiet feel. So it's a great little spot here in Harris County. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the pros and cons of Fortson, Georgia. Okay, pro number one, peaceful country living. All right, I'm going to describe it to you. You got winding country roads, bands of land, farms, friendly neighbors, very quiet, rocking on the front porch with a little sweet tea and lemonade. Does that sound good to you? Well, then you may just love Fortson, Georgia. It has all of that and more. So you can see why so many families and even small businesses are falling in love with the area. It's not going to be a destination spot. There's not really a downtown shopping, that kind of thing in Fortson and Cataula, though it does carry my very favorite supermarket, Billy's, which has the best meats, and it's local and everything. It's great. So you have a convenience, but you are not necessarily where people are coming to that area. So it's very quiet. And you've got a lot of farmland, and you've got land that is either already built with homes or land that can be built with homes or recreational land. So if you're looking to build a small business or a farm or homestead, my husband and I can relate. We live in Harris County, but in Hamilton, Georgia, not too far from Fortson area. And we also are starting our own homesteading farm. So definitely you would not be alone in this area looking to do that venture. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a very peaceful, quiet place to live. There are some nice little subdivisions within Fortson and Cataula as well. So if you're looking for more of a neighborhood feel, that does also exist, and it would still be very friendly and just small community and everything like that. So if you're looking for that nice, slow country vibe, Fortson would be a definite place to check out. Pro number two, top rated schools. So anywhere inside of Harris County, you're going to hear the same pro, but we need to talk about it here in the specific Fortson Cataula area so that you would know it's a benefit of living in this area as well. So some of the top rated schools are in Harris County. You would have access to all of them, public schools. And so it not only is a great thing if you have children going to those schools, but it's a great thing for property value as well. When you have good school systems and things like that, you know that your house is going to go up in value. You know that you're going to have a better resale time if you are planning to, this may not be your forever home. Those types of things are good to keep in mind. So you definitely get that pro and benefit of top rated schools in Fortson, Georgia. Pro number 3, convenient to Columbus and Fort Moore. So where Fortson, Georgia is located inside of the local area. So let's go back and talk a little bit about Harris County just in general before we jump into this, just to paint the picture if you've never been here, you've never visited. So I'm going to walk you through kind of from the tip top of Harris County to the end of Harris County so that you can kind of understand where Fortson is situated and everything. So as you enter in through Harris County, you're in the Pine Mountain, Georgia area. I have another video, I can link it here, that will tell you all about Pine Mountain, Georgia. But you come through and it's a cute little downtown, and then you enter in through the city of Hamilton, and that is where a lot of the municipalities are located. That is where the high school is located. And then you're going to keep on down a parkway called Veterans Parkway. Veterans Parkway is going to get you from one tip to the other tip of Harris County, and it's going to take you through all the little towns that make it up. So if you started over there in that Pine Mountain, Hamilton area, and you cruised over about 15 to 20 minutes, that's when you're going to reach the area of Cataula and Fortson. As I mentioned in my previous pro, it is a very quiet country rural area. You're not necessarily coming for a destination unless you're going to Billy's, my favorite supermarket, but you're not really coming there for anything. You're kind of going through there to get to Columbus. But the good news is that as you've driven down that Veterans Parkway, you've now reached Cataula, Fortson, and you're only 10, 15 minutes tops to get over to Midland, Georgia, the north side of Columbus, and really close to the interstates, which if you live in certain other parts of the county, you're not going to have that same benefit. So that kind of paints that picture of where you're at. So you're out in this beautiful, vast country area, but then you're also very close to the conveniences of modern day life and commuting to work, because a lot of people in this area are likely going to be commuting to their jobs since the communities are so small. So unless you have your own business, farm, small business that you own and live at, there's a good chance you're going to be commuting. And I do also serve not only residential clients, but I serve commercial clients. So if you are a commercial client and you're watching this and you're kind of trying to figure out if it's a place to plant your business, Cataula, Fortson may be a place to live if your business is planted in the Columbus area or even LaGrange, anything like that. So if you are farm related and things like that, this could also be a place to plant your business. It is convenient to get onto those interstates, get into the shopping areas, get into the working areas, and then also really awesome for our military families. You are a quick commute down to Fort Moore because you're right there at 185 as well. So the convenience of the location is definitely a pro of the Fortson Cataula area. Pro number 4, it is home to Pate Park. So once you move to the area, you're going to hear a lot about Pate Park, especially if you have a elementary age child, someone maybe interested in baseball. It's our largest baseball complex in the county, and a lot of the games and events are held at the ball fields there for softball and baseball. But there's also a really awesome playground and park. You can do walking trails around. It's just a really nice recreational facility. There's also tennis courts there. But if you are anything like our family and you get into the baseball scene, you are going to be driving back and forth to those fields, and living nearby is definitely a perk for getting to the practices and to the games and everything in between. And then, like I said, a good recreational facility. So if you want to just go to exercise or get outside, take the kids to the playground, the grandkids, it's a great spot for that. If you're a local business, they do have events like the start of the seasons where you could go out and you could be a vendor at the event. So good to know for that purpose as well. And Pate Park is actually located right next door to the intermediary school. So I didn't mention this in the Great Schools conversation on one of our other pros earlier, but I will just mention that something I had never heard of until I moved to this area is what is called an intermediary school. So Kids in this area are going to start from pre-K to fourth grade in the elementary level. Then they go into this intermediary school, and that's fifth and sixth grade. And from what I know about it, they are kind of getting introduced to the changes that occur in middle school as far as having a locker, doing periods, like different class changes and things like that. So they do 2 years there, and all of the children in the counties come together at that intermediary school. That's Creekside, and that is right next door to Pate Park. And then they would move up to middle and high school. So, yeah, it's just kind of an interesting little aspect there. But Pate Park is definitely a popular spot. Good to know that you've got access to it and that it's right there around the corner. Ellerslie Park is also very nearby the Cataula Fortson area. You just got to go a little bit, I believe it's east, if I'm thinking of it correctly, to get over to that area. So you have a couple of really great parks just a stone's throw away. But Pate Park is definitely a perk of living in Fortson and Cataula, especially if you're one of the coaches or the parents of those baseball kids. Okay, pro number 5, friendly, tight-knit community. If you're anything like me, it's really important to have a community for yourself, for your family, and in Fortson and Cataula, it's very tight-knit here, whether it's through sporting events, ball games, churches, local events. A lot of people know one another and they welcome one another. I mentioned as well that this is a very good spot for our military families, and I was a previous military wife, so I know what it is like to be moving around. If you've ever had the honor of getting to serve the military, you know that that is like the number one thing. You move to a new area and you get welcomed into the community, and when you move around that much, you get really good at it and you aren't afraid to put yourself out there and make friends. So it's good to know that you would have that built in here as well. Our local church is actually located in Cataula as well. We live in Hamilton and we drive over for it. And we find amazing community at our church. It's called Midtree Church. So if you're ever interested in knowing more about that, we'd be happy to share with you. So yeah, tight-knit community for the win. You're going to find a very strong sense of connection here in both Fortson and Cataula, Georgia. All right, so you got to take the bad with the good. And we're going to go ahead and get into the cons of living in the Fortson Cataula area. So con number 1, fewer public transportation options. If you're moving from a metro or another city where that is pretty common to have rideshare options or public transport, you're not going to find that much around here. So you're definitely going to need to rely on your own vehicle to be getting around, commuting to work, getting to the store, whatever that may be. So yeah, if you're used to that and you're looking for that, I would say that's going to be a con. You're going to find it's quite challenging to find public transport in this area of Fortson, Georgia. Okay, con number 2, slower internet in some areas. So I do suffer from this a little bit out in Hamilton, Georgia, which is another part of Harris County. That's where I live. And in the more rural areas, which we are quite rural here, you may find that you have a little bit harder with your cell signal, or possibly even your internet is a little bit slower. We do have some fast speed internet options coming to the area in different addresses. We personally use the Starlink service, so it works pretty well. But I will say we do get a fair bit of severe weather around here, and when that happens, you're usually lights out. Well, not lights out, but internet out, TV out, Wi-Fi down, which sometimes, you know what, kind of nice. Just unplug a little bit and step away. But if you're trying to work from home or things like that, you may just want to talk to the seller of the house or do your own kind of tests to find out whether or not you're going to have that issue at the address that you're looking at. And of course, if you're trying to run a business, you definitely want to know that ahead of time. So finding out that information could be key to make sure that you stay connected. All right, con number 3, wildlife and seasonal allergies. So with nature comes, well, nature. Think about having maybe deer in your yard, bugs in the summer, pollen in the spring. So yeah, you're going to find a lot of deer around here. Turkeys are also a lot of birds around here. A lot of people have chickens, so you may hear a lot of crowing roosters. So if you're not one of those farmers that is enjoying that, it could be a little bit noisy. Bugs are definitely a thing. I am learning all about these little red bugs called chiggers, and they are in the grass at the ball field. They're in the grass at my house when I'm trying to do gardening, and they are tiny, and they can get in everything. So bug spray is a must. Mosquitoes definitely in the summertime. And then, yeah, if you have the seasonal allergies, I would start buying your Zyrtec in bulk now because you're likely going to need it for at least 4 weeks out of the year, if not more. But that's the take for the give of the beautiful nature that God provides in beautiful Fortson and Cataula, Georgia. Thanks so much for spending time with me today exploring life in Fortson and Cataula. These little towns may not have all the bells and whistles, but for the right family or business, it could be the perfect place to call home. It's quiet, sweet, and quaint, and all the friendly neighbors really do entice. If you're thinking about making a move, whether it's for your family, your business, or just a fresh start, I'd love to help. You can find all of my contact information in the comments below. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay in the loop of all things Harris County and beyond. And I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, so one of my favorite parts about doing this channel is getting to explore things for the first time just to share it with you. So, on my way out to find a restaurant to show y'all, I ended up stumbling upon this adorable gourmet market. I had no idea it was even in Harris County. It's the 219 Southern Market. They have a local butcher and they have all these specialty cheeses and other items that I didn't even know were right here around the corner. So thank y'all for allowing me to explore for you and to be able to share this with you. 219 is a restaurant across the street from the Southern Market, and they have great food and live music as well. So that was another thing to share, but I ended up wanting to show you this instead.